Mochizuki Chiyome was born in a time of intense conflict in feudal Japan, where survival required both strength and intelligence. From a young age, she demonstrated unusual abilities, with a sharp mind and an observant spirit that stood out among others. At a young age, Chiyome was promised in marriage to a samurai of the Takeda clan, a common strategic alliance at the time. Although marriage guaranteed status, it also put her at the center of political and military intrigues. After the sudden death of her husband in battle, Chiyome found herself a widow and unprotected. However, instead of succumbing to grief, she decided to use her intelligence to survive in a world dominated by men. This determination caught the attention of Takeda Shingen, leader of the Takeda clan. He recognized in Chiyome a rare potential and offered her the chance to lead a secret and ambitious project, train women to be spies and murderers. Initially, Chiyome hesitated. Training women for espionage was unprecedented and risky. However, her vision of a future where she could have control over her destiny made her accept Shingen's challenge. To begin his mission, Chiyome returned to his homeland, Shinano. There, she began to recruit women marginalized by society, orphans, widows, and fugitives who, like her, sought a second chance in life. The training of the Kunoichis began in absolute secrecy. Chiyome taught them techniques of combat, disguise, and manipulation, turning them into true masters of infiltration and espionage. The lessons were not limited to physical strength. Chiyome introduced her students to traditional medicine and the use of poisons, skills that could save lives or eliminate targets with finesse. The Kunoichis also learned to disguise themselves as geisha, priestess, or servant, roles that allowed them to circulate without raising suspicion. Every detail was meticulously taught by Chiyome. Gradually, the Kunoichi's network of Chiyome began to grow. Each successful mission reinforced her position and showed that even in the shadows, she was a force that could not be ignored. The first major mission of the Kunoichis, led by Chiyome, was to spy on enemy movements in the borders of Takeda territory. Using flawless disguises, they collected crucial information without being detected. One of the most remarkable skills of the Kunoichis was their ability to use coded messages. Chiyome developed a system that used poems and drawings to convey secrets without raising suspicion. In addition to espionage, Chiyome sent his Kunoichis on sabotage missions. Using stealth skills, they were able to incapacitate enemy camps, poison supplies, and destabilize opposing troops. Over time, the network of Chiyome grew so much that it became known as the Mother of the Kunoichis. His reputation was feared even by the most powerful feudal lords. Chiyome also used temples as bases for their operations. There, their Kunoichis disguised themselves as priestesses, passing information under the protection of religious rituals. With each successful mission, the name of Chiyome became a legend. But with that also came the danger of betrayal and enemy attacks, forcing her to move constantly between hiding places. Chiyome's ability to recruit and train women from all backgrounds was unique. Under his leadership, these women found a purpose and strength they never imagined they had. Chiyome was also known for her compassion. Although she was a ruthless strategist, she cared for her Kunoichis like a real family, ensuring they had security and support. Despite success, Chiyome knew that his mission depended on absolute discretion. She would disappear from public view, ensuring that her spy network remained invisible. Over time, rumors began to emerge about a secret network of spies and murders under the command of a mysterious woman. But even with the pressure increasing, Chiyome kept control, never allowing his identity to be discovered. Her ability to leave few clues and create contingency plans was what made her so effective. She was able to outwit even the most experienced enemy spies, keeping the Takeda clan always ahead. Chiyome was not only amassing information, she also became a master at destabilizing her enemies from within. Using her spies as tools, she planted lies and rumors that caused divisions among the enemy forces. Thus, she managed to weaken the trust of rivals and undermine alliances even before any physical confrontation. This subtle method of intellectual battle demonstrated the true power of Chiyome. While Takeda fought on the battlefield, she fought in the invisible field of mind and psychology. However, not all of Chiyome's plans went as expected. At a critical moment, she had to make a difficult choice when her spies were captured. Due to the increasing vigilance of the enemies, she had to sacrifice some of her most reliable agents to protect the rest of the network. Although it was a bitter decision, Chiyome knew that long-term victory depended on such sacrifices. She then sent warning signals and reinforcements to the other spies, who immediately took steps to protect herself and ensure that Takeda's mission continued. Over time, Takeda's enemies realized that something was profoundly wrong with their strategies. As much as they tried to block the network of spies from Chiyome, she always seemed to be one step ahead. His cunning and the sacrifices made by his network did not go unnoticed. Chiyome, with his unrivaled ability to blend into the enemy, began to wreak havoc within the enemy lines. Those who dared to confront her were quickly defeated, not knowing exactly who had brought them down. His ability to disappear into the shadows made his name feared, but never seen. The turning point for Chiyome came when Takeda, concerned about the progress of the campaigns, decided it was time to end the enemy spy network once and for all. He asked Chiyome to deliver the final blow, a risky mission that would put his spies' lives in danger. Chiyome, knowing the risk, gathered his forces and gave the order for his agents to infiltrate enemy camps in an effort to decisively dismantle the enemy spy network. She knew that this would be one of the most decisive moments in her life. The mission was a success, but not without great losses. The enemy network was dismantled, and Takeda gained a crucial strategic advantage. But many of Chiyome's agents fell in battle. The losses weighed heavily on her, but Chiyome knew that without those sacrifices, the future of the Takeda clan would not have been guaranteed. With the clan now strengthened, she returned to her place of command, but a feeling of emptiness accompanied her. She had achieved victory, but at what cost? Chiyome could not help but feel that his work would never be complete. Although the Takeda group had gained a strategic advantage, she knew that a war would never have a true end. She was gradually from open war and returned to her original mission, keep the spy network running, one step ahead of any enemy. However, she also began to isolate herself, her soul marked by loss and constant vigilance. Over time, Chiyome began to disappear from the pages of history. His contribution was fundamental, but his presence was never extremely recognized. She chose to live in the shadows, letting Takeda's deeds shine while she continued her work in the shadows. She became a secret legend, a woman who had shaped the destinies of all around her, but never sought recognition. His true reward was the success of his clan and the peace he helped to secure, however ephemeral it might be. Chiyome may have disappeared from the pages of history, but his influence has never been erased. His skill in manipulation, espionage, and psychological warfare remains a lesson to all who study the arts of war and leadership. Her name, though often forgotten, continues to live in the stories told in the shadows among those who know that without her, the history of feudal Japan could have been very different.